At this point in the design, this is where your knowledge of structural design comes to play. You know, as you already know, if you're doing structural design, that means a structural engineer at least. So it's now you that will determine the column sizes you want to use, the beam sizes you want to use, then the slab thickness and all of it that you want to use. So the first thing to do here is to place our columns. If you see, this is column, so you left click on it. This menu drops column properties. Now this is B1, B2, E1 and E2. B1 and B2, these are the sizes of your column, the length and the width of your column. Now let's say I'm working on a 225 wall. Let's say I'm working on a 150 wall or 225, whatever, but I think this is 150 wall. So I will just use 150 column, 150 by 150 column. That is length and the width of the column. Now I'll click on this, then I'll go to the center. I'll use this. Look at it. This dotted line is showing you your grid lines. Already we gridded this in a way that the center of the walls we used the center of the wall. So that means our grids should be on the center of the column too. So that is why we are using this. If you did something different, just look if you look at these things, then you will understand what they mean. Just know that the red lines here are showing you the position of your grid relative to the position of the column. So I'm clicking on this because I used this. Now then you go to each point. You go to each point where you want to place your column and then click on it. Once you click on it, your column comes in. Once you click on it, your column comes in. If you see, this is 1C3. This is showing that I'm on the first floor, and this is column number 3. And the column is 150 by 150. That is as it is in every of them now. So I also place my column here. The position where you put your column is totally dependent on you as a structural engineer. So I continue. I make sure I place my columns everywhere I want it. I place my columns everywhere I want it. Place my columns everywhere. And then after placing your columns, now after placing your columns, you close up this menu here. Now you have placed your columns. These are your columns. These are your columns. Yes. If you see, check from here, you have 1C1, 1C2, 1C3, and all of it. Now, after placing your columns, now the next thing to do is to place your beams over them. Now, you use beam, you left click on it, then the menu comes, this beam properties comes up, then you choose what you're doing. This is type, normal beam, supported band, rigid beam, whatever. It's a normal beam that we're doing. Then you will have this B will give you the width. This B will give you the width of your beam. This width will give you the width of your beam. So we're working with beam 150 by width. Now we'll also see the red line is also showing you the grid lines. It's also showing you the grid point relative to your beam. Now our grids are always at the center, so I use this. Now this H bottom. This is giving you the thickness of your beam. The thickness of your beam. So you check whatever the thickness of the beam you want to do is, then you insert it here. You insert it here. If you come here you can actually right click. Once you get here, you can right click and it will show you different beam depths, then you choose from. But then you can also just go there and type it in, the depth of your beam. Now once you are done with this, then you go back to insertion. Now this is how you insert a beam. First, you go to the starting point of the beam, that is the grid, the intersection of the grid where you want to start. Then you left click and hold. you left click and drag. You see, you see this line that's going with me. So when you left click, you drag, then once you get to the end point of your beam, when you want it to stop, you release it. Now this is the beam. If you see 1B1 150 by 300, 1B2, the software on its own will divide the beam into different spans depending on the supporting conditions. Are you getting now? So that's how you create a beam in Orion. You click on the first intersection point or the starting point of the beam, you left click and drag, or then drop at the end point of it. The same thing here, you left click and drag, then you release at the end point. So this is how you do your beams inside Orion. This is how you deal with beams inside Orion. You draw them from their starting point to their end points. Remember, in case you want to change, like you have different beam measurement, different depth or different width, I can always change here. I can always change this and draw. Once I change this and draw, it whatever I put here, I will take effect on the next beam that I want to draw. So this is it. This is this. This is this from here to here. This is this from here to here. This is this from here to here, and this is this from here to here. Now, until you draw all your beams, all the required beams for your drawing, you do this until you finish drawing all your beams. Now, when you're done with your beams, then the next thing will be slab. So from the next video, I'll show you how you deal with slab inside Orion. I'll show you how you deal with slab inside Orion. Then from there, take it to the analysis and then every other thing involved. Remember, subscribe, like this video, subscribe, turn on the notification button so you will always be notified once we post this. Thank you.